Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about brainstorming research ideas for your semester project. So as I mentioned early on, working on your own project will be one of the major activities in this entire course. And in fact, in the middle of the semester, each of you will present a project proposal where you first have to outline the goals for your research project and your data collection. And that will be 30% of your final grade. And then, of course, at the end of the semester, you're expected to submit a final paper, which itself will be 40% of the final grade. So this is just to emphasize that this project and working on this project is one of the main goals of kind of this workshop style seminar, aside from the lecture videos and the workshops and all of the things that we're doing. The main activity is supposed to be, working on your own research. So all of this is just to say the earlier you get started, the better. And in order to get started, what I have in mind is that in our next Q&A session on the upcoming Wednesday, we'll have a brainstorming session where each of us takes a turn and discusses some of the research interests that everyone has, and talk about potential ideas and potential projects to work on for the rest of the semester. So what I want you to do briefly is until next week to prepare 3 potential research topics that you would like to work on that are related to your ongoing research or potentially starting a new project, but something that you like from a substantive perspective would be interested in. And then we're going to take turns and discuss for every person these 3 potential research topics. And specifically, I want you to prepare answers to the following question. And these can be just very brief answers, just so we can get a conversation started. The first thing is, what is the puzzle? So what is the underlying kind of research question, and what is the kind of gap in the literature, depending on your substantive background, that you want to answer, right? What is the key question that you want to address, and why is that question not addressed, fully in the literature before? And then relatedly, why is that important, right? Why should we care about that specific question? How is it important for policymakers? How is it important for the literature? Things like that. And then, but this is kind of just the background to kind of get us, started to think, because these are things that I want you to focus on in the proposal as well as in the final paper. So we kind of want to start thinking about those aspects as well. But ultimately, they're just the background for the actual, data collection and actual analysis that you're going to conduct. So the other thing that I want you to think about is what type of data do you want to use, and how you can, actually collect these data. What are potential data sources? What are potential, types of designed data and organic data, or ready-mades and custom-mades, that you might leverage in order to answer your specific research question. And then lastly, start thinking about how do you want to analyze these data, right? What is the structure of these data, and ultimately what is the identification strategy to answer your specific question, right? So we're going to kind of focus on that a little bit more in the Q&A session, but ultimately what I want you to think about is, most likely you will try to answer some kind of causal question. And so then the next important issue to think about is, how can you ultimately identify this causal effect, right? So how are you going to analyze it? Is there maybe some kind of natural experiment that you can leverage, or are there other opportunities that will help you, that give you kind of provide variation, ideally exogenous variation in your explanatory variables to kind of predict, or to kind of explain your outcome of interest. So the ideas in our next Q&A session, we will each take turns and present 3 potential topics. They don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have perfect answers to those 4 questions for each of those 3 potential research topics. But I kind of want you to start thinking about that relatively broadly, and then we'll start discussing them, and then you'll have something that gets you started to think about when it comes to putting together the proposal later in the semester. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and I'm looking forward to hearing what everyone has in mind. All right, that's it already for this video. In the next video, I'm gonna talk about getting started with your first assignment, replicating Penny 2016.